Welcome back to another One Piece chapter. It's your boy Hooch, and we here with chapter 1189, King of the World. Where we left off, Moo and Luffy was fighting, and Luffy, turned into a genie, was doing some nice cool tricks, but wasn't landing any punches or anything on Emu. And it ultimately ended with Emu stabbing Luffy through his chest, blood gushing out. So let's get right into this chapter. Um, Cover request by Toshiki Zoo. The three proverbial wise monkeys sit in Caesar as Nami's lectures them for their mischief. See no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. Very cool little chapter. A very cool cover request. But let's get right into the chapter. Luffy, after just one hit from Emu, you can see Luffy bleeding out his mouth. His eyes have gone white, huff, huff. The one thing that I noticed is that he's still in gear 5. Like he's still in gear 5th. Like it's interesting. So Emu looks at him. You can still hear him like huff, and it looks like Emu pins Luffy to a tree with the sword. Pins him to a tree, and the size difference between the two is crazy. Pins him to a tree, and then out of nowhere, Usopp says, "What?" Nami looks at Usopp, says, "What's wrong, Usopp?" Usopp says, "It's Luffy. I'm just worried if he's gonna be all right." Nami says, "What? Why are you being so ominous all of a sudden?" Of course he'll be fine. Then Jinbei jumps in, says, "Don't forget, his opponent swiftly defeated a large giant, Nami." And then, there go Loki say, "Hey, Fishman, huff huff, who the hell are you saying he defeated?" Jinbei says, "All I can say for sure is that Luffy's hockey suddenly weakened just now." All right, over to Brooke and Frankie and Gunko. There, she's completely thawed out. Princess Shuri, we shouldn't warm her too quickly. Don't worry, I don't have any body heat, says Brooke. um, Brooke screams, "What happened back then? Tell me about that time. Is it you? It is you, isn't it? Princess Shuri." Uh, Ratatouille score goes squeak, squeak. Stay back and don't get in the way. Squeak, squeak. Brooke, are you good here? If things get scary, Brooke, are you good here? If things get scary, then and they're interrupted by looks like Gerd and Harden. Harden, we're going too fast on this boat. Act. And they look like they crash right into Loki. It look like, or maybe it's just this entire group they crash into. They crash, yeah, they definitely crash into Loki. You see Harden flying. You can see the boat cracks on top of Loki. He's grimacing, and Chopper saves Gerd with a guard point. Toe score just jumps out the way, and I don't even see where Jinbei would have went. This is just a mess. Goodness gracious. Okay. Guard point. And I only say one person. That's so smart. Okay, so Jinbei says, "What are you guys doing here?" Harden, Gerd, Chopper. "Thank you, Chopper Kun. You're so cute and reliable," Gerd says to Chopper. And Chopper says, "Praise like that doesn't make me happy or anything, you jerk." Um, Gerd says, "I need to hurry. Loki, let me see those wounds." Ah. Um, Gerd says, "There's blood everywhere. This is bad. You guys will make." Oof. Loki says, "You guys will make my injuries worse. What did you come here for?" Huff, huff. And then we go a little flashback hard. It's a waste for you to make a stand here. Oh, he's talking to Yaru. Go back to Luke. Go back up. Go back up, Loki. Arden says, "But the kids." Yaru says, even if we rescue the children, it'll be a temporary reprieve. Their goal is to totally subjugate Elbaf by force. Do you really think this is a position they just decided at the reverie? That can't be the whole story, right? That man is likely at the heart of this. Loki, dot, 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 Loki. Loki, do you have any idea who that guy is? Loki says, yeah, sort of. Now back to Emu and Luffy. As Emu was starting to pull out a whole new sword, it seems thou is unable to move. Off, wheeze, wheeze, says Luffy. Uh, Emu says this sword feeds on life force. And asks, how many slashes can thou endure before perishing? Luffy, eyes kind of shaded, still bleeding out the mouth, still coughing up blood. But like I said earlier, he's still in his gear fifth form. Monkey D. Luffy, such a detestable name to move. And yet thou hast two elder siblings who go by different names. A brother slain by the Navy, and the other is a prominent member of the Revolutionary Army. Faragach, as Luffy is stabbed with his second sword by Emu. Um, he's been cut twice, stabbed twice through this tree. You just hear Luffy scream, and then Emu says, "What an ill-mannered trio of siblings." Luffy still coughing out blood. And now we go back to Loki and Harden. He must be the one that we spoke of. Red Hair mentioned him back then with this ability. Shanks did have something to say. With this ability, I'll make sure Pops and those soldiers have no regrets. Says Loki. I'm thinking Loki said that. Loki said that with this, make sure Pops and those soldiers have no regrets. See Gabon in the background as well as Shanks right next to him. Shanks says, hold on, Loki. I know you're angry, but you can't do that now. What are you talking about, Red Hair? Are you really gonna stand in my way when I want payback for my dad? I consider Harald a friend. I consider Harald as a friend. I'd like nothing better to avenge him too, says Shanks. But you have to think clearly. The government just attempted to take over Elbaf. Your priority should be to prepare for war. Huh? A full-on war with the world government? That's not what I have in mind. This is personal. Dad and those men have regrets I need to lay to rest. I'm talking about revenge on the ones responsible. And just who is that? Who's your target? All those government bastards. Shanks replies to Loki, the one who tried to use Harald is king of the world. Huh? Yarul jumps out, says, what are you talking about, Shanks? The world government has no sole ruler. It contradicts everything they stand for. Hey, Shanks. Shanks says, it's okay if you don't believe me. And then Loki says, haha, if there is a secret king, I can just take his head and be done with it. Shanks says, even if you make it to the Holy Land, the king's power is immeasurable. And that's if you can make it there. There is someone who managed it once. Rocks, his idol. Uh, Back to Shanks. We don't need to rush into a fight just yet. Shut it already. Oh, okay. This is Loki. Shut it already. You don't get to boss me around. Shanks says, I don't care where that. Oh, no, it's still Loki. I don't care where that prick is hiding. I'll destroy everything in my way. Yavrul says, don't do anything stupid, Loki. Back to present day. Those few years I left the country, I wasn't even able to make it to him. If the king of the world really has come out to play, this is the perfect chance. Yavrul says, you're so. Oh, no, 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 no. Harden says, you're so simple minded. And Loki says, say what? But Harden says, I have no objections in this case. I'm going to take him down. our father's enemy. Back to Jinbei. Jinbei says, this is an unreal conversation. If the king of the world, if the world has a king, I'm reading it all wrong. If the world has a king, then what role do the five elders serve? Loki said, I just told you not to get in the way. Cheap, cheap. He says he froze her because she's dangerous. Says Ratatoscore. Oh, and Chopper is, oh, Chopper and Ratatoscore are communicating. Oh, wow, this is cool. He said he froze her because she's dangerous. Huh? You're the one who froze her, yeah. Brooke says, well, maybe she indeed be dangerous. But I assure you, it's not her fault. She was being controlled. This girl is like a daughter to me. And then Ratatoscore looks at Brooke's skeleton body and then looks at Gecko and like, oh, yeah, don't look alike. All right, so oh, Robin, sounds like there's a lot of interesting things going on here. Robin, Chopper, I want you to come. I want you to come to the library right away. Saul, howdy. Okay, so Chopper's off to the library and not hailing anybody. Cool. So Chopper gets I guess yeah, Robin goes to pick up Chopper to take him to the library for some I guess some historical context reading. Maybe this is what we've been waiting for. But next is be back to Emu and Luffy fighting. The next sword is actually an axe that Emu pulls out of this gigantic circle behind him. Next is, oh my, huff huff. Apologies, but this is the next blade thou must suffer. How unfortunate. The third one is up. Jintan. Huff huff. Is Luffy still bleeding out the mouth, but in gear fifth. I'm gonna keep reiterating that he's still in gear fifth. And we go over to the seaport, Sea Cloud Port, Western Village. We see God Knight Summers and Zoro going at it. Zoro starts his attack, King of Hell, 3 Sword Dragon, 103 Mercies, and Summers is like, yeah, he just laughing. He Dragon Damnation attack versus just a Gram sword attack from God Knight Summers, like just a big hockey clash. Let me make sure I'm reading this right. Okay, Dragon Damnation. Yeah. 18, 8, blah, 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 I said 18, 800 years ago, the 19 kings who forged our world made a vow of equality. They placed their swords around the empty throne to mark that oath. Tahu, Bohu, Nemesis, Longus, Stigma, Marasima, the 19 world weapons, they were all laid to rest. There. But guess what? When the Great One revived us with the Omen, he granted us access to them. I'm not lying. Their power is a legend that lives on through the great houses. Get it, Ron Orozoro? This is the power that reigns over the world. This weapon, this is the weapon of the House of Shepherd. Brown. Meet the weapon of the House of Rimoshofu. Longius. Says Killingham to Sanji. We don't really get to see them clashing as much, and now we go back over to Emu and Luffy. Thou shouldst be honored to die by the arms that constructed this world. And then you see Luffy's like, he's trying to say something. He's trying to say something. He really is, but he can't move. Those swords that kind of got him locked into place. Maybe just pulling them out might do the trick. But as Emu swings this axe, the axe holding fighter of all time, Gabon jumps up and blocks the attack, stopping him from hitting Luffy with another attack. And this is the fight maybe that we've been waiting for. This is the fight we've been waiting for. Emu completely shocked. And here goes Gabon with this dark, sinister look on his face, like, boy, I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh my goodness. The left wing of the Pirate King has arrived. Break next week after we just came off a break, but I think it's necessary. I think my man, Bond is the best person to fight Emu at this juncture. He's old enough. I don't think he cares if he dies, but he needs to show and prove to the new guys, like, yeah, I need y'all to be fighting like this. I don't need none of that other stuff. I need y'all to go crazy right now. So, oh, and they're giving us a hope. Oh, all these swords mean something. Graham, the sword used by Sigurd used to kill the dragon Fenrir in Norse mythology. Kanji, sword of rage. The three monkeys that cover the Mizaru, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Gotcha. Long is the sword that has have impaled Jesus Christ on his crucifixion. Kanji, spirit of holy life. Divine executioner's axe. Headless axe wielding Chinese god who persists on fighting the supreme divinity even after his own decapitation. The others, Farak, a magical sword of Irish mythology, sea god sword. Tohu Wa Bahu, a formless void which God formed the universe from the Hebrew Bible. Kanji, sword of disorder, sword of void. Nemesis Kanji, sword of the heavenly punishment. Stigma, sword of hatred. Muramasama, the legendary Japanese swordsmith. So this is crazy. So all these swords, we heard about these swords, but to know that the Omen grants the God Knights, to use these swords does change a little bit of their power level. And I knew it was gonna come, but I didn't know it was gonna come in this form. But crazy chapter. I love that Gabon is in the fight. But the number one thing I want people to remember about this, Oda made sure Luffy never came out of gear fifth. Luffy never came out of gear fifth. He got stabbed by a sword twice. He's getting beat up. He's bleeding. All of this. He should be going back to his base form. He's not. He's not. You tell me honestly from this, when I'm seeing, if you take those swords out of Luffy, he can heal up, or he could just ignore those wounds and get back into the fight. I think the powers of those swords are really draining what he is, and if you get rid of those swords, he could get back into the fight. But I'm gonna need him to fight serious, like post, like when he had to fight. Who he had to fight? Yeah, he got to go back to his category fight. Like he got to go back to I gotta win this fight no matter what type of deal. Like yeah, yeah, Wano was different, but when he fought Katakuri, it was kind of same deal. He was stabbed in the stomach, and he had to just push and persevere through. I think that's what he needs to do in this instance because that's what's left. That's what's left for him to do now. Just because he took a couple of attacks, I'm not that concerned because it didn't stop or hinder his power. His power is still there. He just couldn't land anything. He lands something, I think this changes the game. He was able to hit Emu in base form. And I was like, yeah, that's a bad sign for the fight to come up. If he hit him, he was able to hit him unguarded then. So it's just like, okay, it's nice to see. I do want to see what Harden can do in this fight. I don't know what else he can do, but I would love to see what Harden can do. He might lose an arm or something. I've been waiting for Harden to do something this whole arc. He needs to do something. Now that Loki is down for a little bit, hey, we need a giant to come in and help Luffy. Maybe you could take those swords out of Luffy, Harden. Not trying to put too much on you. I don't got you beating Emu or anything like that, but there's something you can do. There's got to be something for Harden to do. But man, this is another great chapter. Great chapter. I like what's going on. I like the lore and everything that's happening, but some things that we still need to flesh out. But I'll get to that at a later date. But please like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Till next time. Hey, be back with another chapter.